today I would like to share with you guys some of the very most important things that you need to know, especially if you're thinking about coming abroad. Definitely my specifications are going to be, or rather my reference is going to be based on my experience living in Germany. So if you're in another country, maybe the US or UK or Canada, or I don't know, I think Austria is kind of the same with Germany, but yeah, if you're in another country and it's a different procedure or it's a different experience, then kindly share in the comment section. I would love to hear your experiences.
Alright, just push yourself, test yourself, figure out what you like and find your limits, don't be rigid, always work towards a prime, surround yourself with open minds.
Hi everyone, what's up? Welcome back to Doris Bonitah channel. My name is Doris Bonitah and it's a beautiful evening here. Yeah, the sun is going down, it's sunset, and I'm seated outside here just taking some time. It's summer, by the way, and it's few minutes to 7, but as you can see it's still daytime because it's summer. So you're seated there and you really want so bad to go abroad because you are so tired with the life in your country. Am I right? Right, then we're on the same page. These are some of the things that no one prepares you, or maybe someone prepared you, I don't know, but for me this is something I never expected because no one prepared me for this. Life is different, of course life is different because people are different, the system is different, but I just mean, sometimes we tend to think that coming abroad is much easier. Life is much easier here than in Kenya, like whatever country you come from. I say Kenya because I come from Kenya. Sometimes you think that here maybe it would be a walk in the park, or it's gonna be easier than in your country. And there's a mentality, sometimes I get people tell me, you must be knowing people right now, could you connect me, I need a job, or could you connect me to find for example with online writing, get me a student who would like someone to do the assignment for. And I'm just like, or right now you have friends, and yeah, like a lot of people right now. First of all, disclaimer, the social life here is different, is almost like dead. If you're not intentional about making friends, you will be lonely. And most importantly, if you don't have a relationship with God, you will be loneliest. Like it's not easy, it's not very easy. I can just assure you it's not easy. Number one, there's that difference in social life. Number two, you will have the things that you never had to worry about when you're in your country, which is paperwork. You have to now care about your residence permit. When I was in my country, I only had my ID with me and I would just go anywhere I want. I don't care really. My ID would never expire because I was Kenyan, right? But being in a foreign country, you need to renew your card. You need to renew your residence permit yearly, at least for me. For me, I have to renew my Aufenthaltstitel every year. Sometimes they would give you 6 months and then you have to extend it. So you have that pressure and you need to do it on time. Like you need to submit those papers. For example, for us in the city I live in, you submit and then they will respond to you from 4 to 8 weeks. That is basically 2 months. And sometimes they don't do that unless you follow up. You have to call them, you have to ask for them to just give you an appointment to go there and start the process. If you delay, that's how you go back to your country because of a simple residence permit. So these are some of the pressures, so to say, that come upon you as an individual that you never had to worry about. These are some of the things that you have to worry about living in a foreign country that you never had to worry about when you are in your own country. All you cared about was food, pay rent, done. But here there's also the aspect of rent, there's the aspect of food, of course, there's the aspect of other bills like radio. For example, in Germany you pay for radio even when you don't use a radio, when you don't have a radio. I don't have a radio in my house, but I pay radio. At least from the invoice I saw, it was about 18 euros and some cents there, even if you don't have a radio. There's the electricity bill. Those ones, of course, we also pay in Kenya, but life is more expensive here. So as much as you earn more money, you also spend a lot of money. So you not only have these other things to worry about, like rent and the food and this electricity and all those things, but you also have the bill. And you know, as you renew this residence permit, is not for free. You are paying. You pay for that card, and it's as expensive as 90, 100 euros, depending with which kind of permit you're applying for. Depending with the kind of permit you're applying for, it can even go up to 100. I'm not sure if there's one that exceeds 100, but I know for student permit is usually around that money. Sometimes it reaches 100 or more. So you are also paying for these things. You have the ticket. It's not like you just hop on a bus, you know, from Roysambu to Tao, you pay 50 bob. You pay 50 shillings, you know, and then you hop on a bus and you get to town, and then you wait. You can, you know, kill some time, and then come in the evening when the fare is no longer 70 Kenya shillings, but is 20 Kenya shillings. We don't have that here. Here it is constant. It depends with the station you're going to, for example, or the area. You buy a ticket for a certain area and it has limits. You have like one for 1 hour. The one that costs like cheaper is like €1 and some cents is for 1 hour. This is, for example, in the city that I live in. There's also the one for 3 hours, and it costs around €11.90 or €11 and some cents. Let me check, because my brother just visited me and he actually just left today, this morning. But probably the day you're going to watch, you will be watching this video on Friday. So he left on Thursday morning, early morning, and I had to buy him this card. Just for 3 hours, it costed me €11.60. It costed me €11.60. €1 right now is 142 Kenya shillings. Another thing you don't do here is convert. Don't you dare. If you convert, you will never buy anything for yourself here. If you convert into your local currency or your home currency, you will never buy anything here. So that's how expensive the transport is. And you don't pay by cash, you buy a ticket. There are some cases where you pay in the buses, that is like in the villages, I think, like outcasts. But for us who live in the city, you buy a card. You pay. You can either pay with card or with money, cash money, but at the end of the day you get the ticket I just showed you. That's what you walk with. There's also monthly. There's like that was for 3 hours, for example, in the whole of Munich. I mean, you cannot travel the whole of Munich in just 3 hours. That's unrealistic. And there's also another one for weekly. There's also another one for monthly, and there's another one for yearly ticket. So you either have to have this package or buy every day, and buying every day is more expensive. So there's also that aspect of transport system is different. I hear people say connection. Here you don't, you do, like, it's like every man for himself kind of situation, and you do basically, from looking for the job to getting it is not your anchor that will get you in. It's your qualification that will get you in. And of course, grace will also help you. Favor will help you. As a person who has God, favor will also help you. But it's not connection. Even when I was looking for my internship, for example, which I'm starting very soon, my host's dad has a good relation with these people that I'm working for the internship for. But guess what? He just asked them if they had position, and he said when they told him they did, I had to apply for the job. And they had to look, they had to do an interview for me. And any person would have gotten that. Of course, there's also that aspect of, okay, they know him, so for him to recommend me, it gives them, assurance that, I might do my job well. But still, I have to apply, and if I don't qualify for it, they will not just take me because I know my host dad. If I do an interview and I do it terribly, I'm not going to pay anyone to be taken in, for that job. So here, there's nothing like connection. If you don't do things on time, and time also counts so much, because everything for you to get a job, if that job is what will give you the residence permit, it means you need to have that job first, apply for that job, get the contract, and then apply for the visa with that contract. So that means everything it's very fast. It keeps you on toes. It's not like abroad doesn't want a lazy person. If you're a lazy person, you will lose your permit and you will not achieve anything here. That's something that I really felt like you have to know for you to be able, or as you prepare to come abroad, that's something that you need to understand. Like, ujitume, nataka mse amejituma, si tu mse hivi ati unakuja hapa umengevia hautaki kufanya. It's not for lazy people, it's for people who can, it needs you to get out of your comfort zone. And that's something I'm so thankful to God for, because that's something that has helped me. Because for me, growing up, my sisters did almost everything for me. So like, I was a person who was used to being pushed, but getting here now, being alone, like, I have to push myself, because if I don't do it, there's so much on the line here. My stay here is on the line, and this is something that is constant. Like for the residence permit, like I mentioned, if it's school, make sure you have the documents on time so that you apply in time. If you come here, don't you think it's like where you're coming from? Don't you think it's gonna be a walk in the park? It's gonna need your commitment, it's gonna need your consistency, it's gonna need your attention. Number 3, if you are a black person going to a white people country, or if you are a white person going to a black people country, this is the time that you will notice some of the insecurities that you never knew you will have. Because this is the time there would be that reality of you recognizing that you are different, you're physically different. And I will speak on behalf of myself, being a person of color, being a black woman. There are so many times that things would happen. These things happen not even because of your color, but the first thing would come into your mind. Like if you got any kind of, for example, if the bus left you, the thing will, that's the time that the devil takes advantage and tells you, oh, they did that because you're black. But that's not true. There are so many times that I hate people, Caucasian people, who are so kind to me, who are lovely people, but somehow, because you notice you're different, you would just think like even the little things, if a waiter was rude to you, or they delayed, or they forgot to do something for you, you would think, okay, is it because I'm black, or is it because I'm different? So this is the time that it will really, really need you to work on yourself on that matter, and accept yourself and love yourself just as how God created you, because this is the time that will bring out insecurities that you never knew you had. At some point, personally, I felt like I was not black enough, because I thought, there are some formed way of, how, or rather I had it in my head that, and I thought this is how people see it, that I had to be more dark, much darker than I am for me to be black enough, or I had to have, bigger bumps than I have to be seen as black enough. Like my sisters, for example, they are, the shape of their bodies, the way they are, like small waist, big behinds and all. At some point I was insecure about that, because when I came here I was very slim. Yes, I had, a little bum, but it wasn't as other African women that I would see. Especially there's this girl who I saw, I don't know which country she was from, probably Burundi or something. Like, she was beautiful. Like, the way she was, that was my definition of how a black African woman looks like. She was tall, she had a tiny waist and bigger behind, and she was really dark, and she had long hair. So because of this, I would look at other, black girls, and I would feel like I'm less black, and the insecurity of language came in. Sometimes with my accent, actually, this sounds so weird, but it's something that happened to me, and I'm being vulnerable with you so that you can be prepared in case you go through something like this. Know that you are not alone, and you can overcome it just like I did. I started having a problem with my accent, how I spoke. Is like, I felt like my English was not good enough. I was supposed to maybe have a British accent or an American accent. I felt like that was the good accent. So like, these unnecessary insecurities just start popping up, this, and they just start coming. And so you have to find your identity in Christ, sis. This is why people compromise. They try to seek validation from people here. Compromising. You start moving in with people. You've laid your guard down, conforming to the bad side of the culture. That temptation will be there. Don't think it won't be there. It will be there. Like I mentioned, the social life here is different. So there would be a lot of temptations to compromise. What I am thankful to God for is I came here when I had established my relationship with the Lord already. So there are some things I had outgrown. There are some things that I would not do, like go to clubs and, get drunk, get wasted. Those are some of the things that I had outgrown, and it was because of the Lord, and it was also because of my fear for God. So if you don't have God, if you don't have a relationship with God, you will reach here and you will be directionless. This is where people would tell you, get married for papers, because that's the easier way out. One thing I told God is, I am never going to do that. Like, I have to do my transition. If I must get married here, I must have all my papers. There's no way I'm going to get married because of a paper. And those are the advices that you get here. When you get here, you meet people from your own country. They give you bad advices, they mislead you. And once you go that, crooked way, they will be the first people talking about you. you also have to be very careful. You do not trust every person. That's something that I've learned, and that's something that really the Lord himself had to tell me through dreams, and told me, Doris, you trust people too much, too fast. In fact, I was trusting black people so much. But funny enough, the people that you think are supposed to be there for you, the people that are supposed to be for you, your fellow countrymen, those are the same people that lead you astray. And so you have to be careful. And I will encourage you, if you've not yet come here or to any abroad country, start working on your relationship with Jesus. It saves you a lot of troubles, trust me. I hope that has helped somebody. And if you have any questions, or if you have any requests of the things you would like me to talk about, feel free to write in the comment section. Feel free to reach me out on Instagram at Doris Bonitah. And have a wonderful time. I also host prayer meetings and Bible study meetings, so reach me out on Instagram. I'm actually hosting one from this Sunday, 1st September to 7th September, where we are going to talk about made for more. That's the theme. And if you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm wearing shoes because I want to go back home. It's called Made for More Conference, Word and Prayer Conference. We are going to talk about who we are and in Christ, obviously, and where we come from, and we are going to discuss the book of Genesis chapter 1 and Ephesians chapter 2. I'm looking forward to that, because my desire is that every person would become the best version of himself or herself, exactly how God intended it to be from the beginning of time. Have a wonderful time and stay blessed and stay prayed up. I love you and Jesus loves you. Bye.